Hey, 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 devs like us, welcome back for another episode. Today we will be talking about the Nvidia Keynote for their conference that happened. As you guys hear, it will be like 2 weeks off. Um, and so we'll be talking about, a lot of the things that really caught our attention and that we really liked about the keynote and that we're excited to see and how we feel about some of the things that are going on with the development that's happening over at NVIDIA. And so, without further ado, let's get into this episode.
What's going on, crew?
Yeah.
Was that you, JB?
What?
Somebody's phone was ringing.
Yes, my phone went off.
No, that's not me.
I'm gonna blame you.
Because I was pretty sure it was Terrence.
I'm like, really? The mic just picked it up perfectly.
It was so crisp. Speaking of which, I should probably turn off my notifications. So yeah, for this event, this was you know what? Nope. Let's start with how is everyone doing first before we hop in. Let's have this connection moment. So how are y'all doing? How's the week? How's things going? How's life?
I'm good. My body's in shock a little bit over the random 89, 90-degree day we had today. But other than that, we good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still adapting. I haven't found my towel.
Something when the towel hit the shoulder. You got a few months.
Yeah. You got that Baptist preacher towel.
Yeah.
Deacon.
Yeah. You always gotta carry it with the cross on it to keep the sins away.
Oh man, JB, get us out of this, JB, what we talk about today?
Let's go ahead and dive in because we're obviously all doing great. So yeah, the Nvidia keynote. If you guys just look at the video, and we'll put that link down in the description for those who are watching us via YouTube. But if you watch that keynote, it's he's talking about a lot of different things that cover a lot of things. And one thing I really wanted to point out was the fact that Nvidia is doing a great job as a business model for the fact that every tool that they create is able to be plugged into some other tool they created to make a whole universe of just
or is
tools.
that the Omniverse?
Yeah. I knew at least one of y'all was going to come in with it. Yeah.
I studied my notes that you provided for me today.
I feel it. So yeah, Nvidia has this whole Omniverse thing of where they're using a bunch of their tools to, connect people over the internet, so they're able to work collaboratively with a lot of their development and things like that, running simulations where multiple people can be watching at the same time, adding in different features and things like that, which I thought was cool. And one of the big things that I really think is cool about this Omniverse is digital twins, which is a Earth twin that they did. And so how do you guys feel about having a whole Earth twin and them looking at weather event simulations to see how it could affect, the actual Earth and things like that?
It's surreal to kind of be able to picture something like that, but I think it is very interesting in how it definitely would help. I think across the board, for any type of events that do take place.
T-Man, how about you?
It just made me think how many people are behind these efforts. But
yeah,
we've had technology like this, but it's not just plotting the weather. It's this looks like legit playing game weather, but this is but it's actually real.
Right.
I don't from a developer standpoint, it's okay, what piece do you tackle? It almost reminds me of one of the arts, the one of the creators or someone who was employed by Pixar, and he did digital art, and he was like, yeah, I was working. I heard you were working on the waves, and the guy's like, no, I wasn't working on the waves. I was working on the bubbles on top of the waves, like that, and that's what I was working
Yep.
on for like 4 or 5 years. And I'm like, really? That's like,
Like, so your job was just these little baby bubbles that
just
we
the
didn't even really
bubble.
get to see.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's like, I kind of feel like from a developer standpoint or engineer standpoint, it's like whatever you're working on, it can't be but so big because it's so precise and the technology is like so it's just so deep. And
Yeah.
of course, I'm pretty sure they've been working on getting to this point for like 30 plus years, but still, it's amazing.
And so, like, just seeing how, you know, they're incorporating like actual physics models into this. So it's using, you know, all the physics characteristics that you see within the real world so that things react the same way that it would. So you're able to see like how will the smoke come out of the smokestack if, you know, we have the wind come from this direction versus this direction and things like that. So yeah, that was really cool to me. And like with all that weather stuff, it's like, you know, all the things that people were using to create models back in the day, all that information is actually being fed into this, you know, universe, and it's just being like cobbled together to create that whole Earth. So you could see like how's the weather on this side of the Earth versus this side of the Earth and things like that. So
Do you
yeah,
think? Do you think
go
all
ahead.
that data is in the cloud?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I was trying to make it a dad joke.
Yes. But I thought that, see, that was the one part of the whole keynote that I could somewhat relate to and say, hey, I can see myself fitting there. It was the cloud native work where it was just like, okay, yeah, we need to make sure this stuff is highly available and runs efficiently and all. I was like, yeah, cloud native. I know like some of those technologies, but everything else, I just was like amazed at all the things.
Yeah.
It's
And I know
scary.
too, not to like
yeah,
not to keep dragging the topic along, but thinking about the database of all the decision points with the weather, because you got to think like it's not just if it rains. Like, you know, I'm pretty sure this is a lot of data collected from years and years of experience with different weather scenarios, and like, you know, being able to kind of have the logic or just the processing power to kind of, you know, push that's pretty amazing.
yeah, and I mean they're doing a lot of training on, you know, the data that they get that they've had for years as far as like weather events, and then they're still doing training on the day-to-day data to, you know, kind of keep it up to date and things like that. And so that kind of brings us into the which one was it, the EGX, which is like their enterprise version of like, you know, um, it's the enterprise version of their DGX, which is their digital graphics experience. And so you have this stack of like A100, I'm sorry, GPUs, and you're taking that stack and now you're creating it as a whole like data center type setup for people to use. And now like your whole office is able to have their own dedicated GPUs to do their own development and things like that. Or if you want to use it to do something like the Twin Earth where, you know, you're doing all these calculations of, okay, if all these factors, you know, come together, what could happen type simulation. So um so yeah, it was a lot to take in. um and like with their EGX as a enterprise server, you know, looking at how they had the what was their security, Morpheus, their security setup, which was like their real time packet inspection setup, which I'm like, dude, like real time packet inspection and like analyzing these packets and being able to say, hey, this is the particular node that you need to go check out and fix and things like that. That was like insane to me because security for enterprises is always like a big thing.
Right. True. yeah, it did seem like it was a lot easier to pinpoint, or at least quicker analysis on, things that need to be addressed.
Yeah, and it was like giving you like this is exactly what you're looking for on this particular server, and oh yeah, this server, touches all these other servers, and so it's sending out, this information to all these others. So you might want to, work on that. And it even allowed the security team the possibility to like pre-program out their mitigations
Mm-hmm.
for these type of events, which I'm like, oh, that's next level. Like you're able to do all this without someone having to, actually sit there and be like, oh, we have this event that's happening on, server 1220 in warehouse X in,
Right.
whatever city, state, country that um, data center is in. So yeah.
It's
So
pretty impressive.
JB,
Hmm.
help break this down for us. What is one of the coolest things you think a developer or an engineer could use with like some of this technology? I think you kind of cracked it up, and you got a
Oh.
good base going on. But let's bring us down a level for folks like me who, I'm just like this. Look at all the things. Let me play a
Um,
video game, but I know it's bigger than that because it's like
yeah, it's
they
way
just
bigger
Yeah.
than that.
simulated the world and they're
Um,
throwing models at these GPUs and it's just like solving it. Like,
so I think the like starting out as a developer, and like looking into machine learning, one of the big things that you could use is like the Nvidia NGX, which is the what is it, Nvidia GPU cloud service, which holds like a bunch of different AI models that they're offering up to people for free. And it allows you to then use their NVIDIA Teo, which is train, adapt, and optimize, to then take those already pre-trained models, bring in your own data that you want to add into that, and then retrain it. And now it's optimized for your particular situation. And so, yeah, I feel like that's one of those quick, like, let's see what I can do type of things where
and
most of
that was
it's
a what
already done.
NTX? What was it?
That was the NVIDIA GC.
Okay. So that's the GC. So y'all know I just got a laptop. I let y'all know, people, I just got a new laptop for
He's fresh.
all of the OBS things.
He's
And I just so
fresh.
happen to have an NVIDIA graphics card. But I
Mm,
have the
which one you got?
NVIDIA GTX. So how old is that and how does that compare to what they run?
Oh man,
Uh,
you don't
oh,
put him out here like that.
yeah, all right, well, since you want to know, you
Little
got the
small fry.
NVIDIA GTX, which one? What you
Um
got? You got the
the 1650.
1650 versus a A100.
Oh, an
Add two.
Um,
A100. They
Add,
yeah,
named it A1.
yeah, no. So
go
first of
ahead.
all,
Add a
the
year to that one.
A100 is a Tesla GPU
They called it a
server.
Tesla.
Yeah. Um, it's running on their Ampere architecture versus the Turing. Um, I'm also put this out there on this rating sheet with these two. Yours comes in at 148 for, general comparison. The
Mm-hmm.
A100 isn't even on this list because of the fact that it's more of a workstation versus a desktop machine, which is what you're using.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the A100 also came out in 2021 versus yours came out in 2019. Um,
That's not too
That's
bad
not
for
too
me.
bad.
yeah, not too bad.
I was gonna say
Um,
if it was 2018, just go ahead and add a year or two to it just to make it sound good.
right.
You said
Um,
2000. I was like, don't say 9. Don't say 8.
right.
17.
And so I think mine has like 4 gigs of RAM dedicated just to the GPU. Just
mhm.
to just to the GPU. So how much does can you just scale this up? I'm assuming
Okay, so yours has 4 gigs of RAM
the
dedicated.
GPU.
The DGX, which has, I believe, 10 of the A100s, each of those A100s has 32 gigs of RAM
Oh
dedicated.
man.
Okay. Well,
Oh
so
man.
I just want everyone to know I do have 32 now of memory, but that's not for the GPU.
No,
That's just for
that's a little different. That's
the RAM.
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
hey,
Okay.
hey, you
I'm
still
getting
got
there.
an awesome machine. Don't let this research
Yeah,
mess you up.
I just wanted to know where it's scaled at, just for a perspective.
Yeah, and so this is scale that personal use versus like actual data center usage. I mean, granted, DGXs you can get like a smaller stack, and that a DGX is about $200,000.
Ooh.
Um,
Oh man.
so yeah, yeah, it's a lot. Um, and so yeah, like if you're training those models, you can quickly get some things going. Like Nvidia has some free courses online that you can use. Um, like with one of their NVIDIA Jetsons, which I have, back here in the back. And you could do, like, there's an AI course that you can do. And with that AI course, like one of the tasks they have you do is to retrain a model to tell me whether someone's putting a thumbs up, thumbs down, or you just can't classify it. And so it really gives you the basic, understanding of how that looks and things.
That's awesome.
And also, since Clarence likes to work from home, and
Yeah.
sometimes work from home calls for video chats and things, and Nvidia
Oh,
Maxine.
I was gonna say Maxine. She's an auntie for sure. She straightens you up. Like when I saw that, I was just like, "Oh, that's auntie vibes all day." Like you better sit there looking to
Like
the
you better be
camera.
looking at the camera.
I said
Yeah,
Aunt
like,
Maxine. That's what they should have called her, Aunt Maxine.
What does Maxine do? It's not. I'm
So,
assuming it's a whole little smart house type vibe.
so the
it's
gist of it is that if you're on a video call, like say for instance you got multiple screens up, so initially you're reading your prompt, right? Well, what Maxine will do is make it so that your eyes stay focused, or at least has a simulation where you're looking exactly at your crowd and kind of taking out a lot of the looking around, moving around kind of thing. So it gives you a little bit more of a better video conference experience, especially for people that are listening to you.
Yeah, and with that, it's also like they take like the position of your face and things like that, and they get like an initial view of what your face looks like when you're staring at the camera. And so with a lot of video calls, sometimes that video lags because your internet may not be that great, and so it's because of the fact that they're trying to send both your video and audio over that limited amount of bandwidth. So with this, it's able to send like the bare minimum in regards to your video side of things because it got that first capture, and it after that it's just doing the gestures of your face, and so it helps with that. You can also do live captioning, which is, like I said in the very beginning, where NVIDIA kind of clicks those multiple tools together, where your live captioning is using the NVIDIA Jarvis model, which is a conversation model,
Mm-hmm.
and it's taking the words that you're saying and just spitting it out onto your screen in real time.
Yep.
And
So
so,
no
So is
lag.
that like the model YouTube uses, or is that the model that my Siri phone is using? And how does it compare? Which one is better?
Probably a
Is
lot.
this
I think Maxine's probably a lot faster.
yeah, and a lot more
I know she's
accurate.
faster, but is she getting the words right? And is she
Yeah.
adjusting?
Yeah.
Do I tell it like if
Yes.
I go for the little southern slang, is she still gonna know what I'm saying? And if I'm like the New York slang, is
I
she
don't know
gonna know
about
what I'm saying?
slang, but I will be able to say
So
she can interpret multiple languages too, real
yes.
time.
Um,
Nice.
and so NVIDIA Jarvis also has
Shout
a
out to JB's Mechanical Geek.
um,
Yeah.
yeah, since you
Brown
can hear,
keys.
no, I do have the brown keys actually. NVIDIA
Keyboard better than you.
Jarvis. Yeah, just a little bit. It's just because we just talked about it. NVIDIA Jarvis with Google Cloud. Um, they have this new thing where people are actually able to go in and, you know,
Nice.
every time you do that, it's so weird because you're holding it at an awkward angle and you're just like, it always throws me off. But people are able to help with the training of different accents and slang and all of that by they have a setup with Google Cloud's Compute where you're able to go in and just read certain prompts and it's helping to retrain um, that model with the NVIDIA Transfer Learning Kit. Um, so that's
Nice.
like the real time like training as you go type situation. Um, so yeah,
What did they hit at, like, what are the cost models for like these type of things? Like, is it almost like any other cloud provider where it's like you're getting rated based off of usage, and like did they
yeah,
how yeah,
because like with them, they are working with other cloud services to
cool.
just have it to where it's like you can go in and say, hey, Amazon, or hey, Microsoft, I want X number of GPUs for my setup, and you could just go about it that way. Because Azure has done a lot of work, and they have like
Yes.
quite a few videos online with using NVIDIA models, training, like going through
Yeah.
like the NVIDIA NGC and then doing Teo and all this stuff. And they show you how to do that from like start to finish. And a lot of those trainings are actually really cool and pretty straightforward and easy, um, and things like
Yeah,
that.
I did my first little machine learning training set for one of my classes, and it was pretty cool. That was like my first little intro to little machine learning, and learning how to do different classifiers. So I might just go ahead on the deep end and check those out. So you said Nvidia has some some learning resources that
Yeah.
they just like basically walk you through.
Yeah. So it's like on the, if you go to like the NVIDIA site and you get a account under the development side of things,
Oh, nice.
um, there's a whole like AI like training page, and in there you can find some of their free courses. The other courses aren't too much money, so you know they're
What's too
made
much,
for like
JB? You know, you're a baller.
I'm no
Couple
baller.
grand,
Uh,
north of a
let's
grand,
see.
south of a grand,
Let's see.
south of five
Or
hundred, north of
as
500.
Terrence said when we say slang, is it a stack? No.
Uh, so let's see. Um,
Let
give
me remove my screen so it just be you, so I don't show my face with the price.
Oh yeah.
Oh no. I'm not gonna show it. I just talk about it. So like
But I'm just talking
they're
about
getting.
showing my face when you say the price. I'm not on the
Oh,
screen because
okay.
I.
No, let's see your face because so for their getting started with deep learning course, it's an 8-hour course, $90.
Oh, that's
Oh,
not
that's
bad.
not bad.
Oh,
Exactly.
It's not too
yeah, that's
bad.
not bad.
Uh, it yeah, they're not breaking you over the head with it. Like a
Yeah,
lot of
it's
these
not.
courses are like $30. Like there's a deep learning scale with Horobot, getting started with image segmentation, $30. Um, yeah, so
That's not bad at all. Yeah, that's
yeah,
like a textbooks are way worse than that.
Yeah, yeah,
exactly.
for sure.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah,
a lot of their self-paced learning
nice,
courses. So yeah, it's not bad at all.
awesome,
Um,
awesome. So JB, would
mhm.
you? Why would a developer want to get into this space, or why would a developer or engineer want to start to take these courses
um,
if they haven't been
so
had exposure
for
before?
So for me, the way that I got introduced into this is I'm working a lot with computer vision. And so computer vision, machine learning, and optics. So you need something that can take in that video feed and then do a lot of processing. Processing costs a lot, so let's not do it on the CPU. Let's go ahead and go to the GPU because you can do parallelization and all that stuff. And so it makes it a lot easier. And even if you're not doing machine learning, just trying to take a video frame by frame, and you have all these different pixels and you're trying to analyze these pixels to figure out what's going on, you can do that, on the GPU side. So it makes it a lot easier. Another reason that I got into it, which kind of coupled up with the computer vision, is just robotics. Um, and so there's a lot of processing that goes on in robotics, and you're using the cameras and, others.
Oh my goodness. Whew. I'm so sorry. JB, I'm sorry.
What
So
happened?
I looked up one of the GPUs that you were talking about that I have access to in the cloud. So guys,
I know what's going
you
on.
have space. So you have your memory,
Mm,
then you have your CPU, and then you have your GPU. Your
mhm.
CPU and your memory is over here, and then like for your GPU, you can have space right for it too. And I was just happy with my little four for my GPU. I said that's not even with my RAM; it's just for my GPU. So that's nice.
Mhm.
Like most people don't even have
I'm
that.
talking
And
about
then
the
so
RAM on the yeah.
I looked at this Nvidia GPU with the 32 gigabytes.
Are you sweating over there?
Yeah, I'm sweating, man. I'm like, there's no monitor on this thing or nothing. This thing over
No.
$11,000.
Ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
So this is why we want to access it as a service instead of just buying this. We just want to access it as a service, get on, do the models, get off.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
Okay.
know, buying it is more so for the big workstation type things. It's more so for companies who are trying to do things.
Like an enterprise
Um,
level.
Don't buy
yeah,
these GPUs on your own. Don't.
yeah. Don't. I mean, unless you stay in the GTX RTX, realm of things. Maybe even a Tesla T4, because that's like their
GV
lower
either. This
level.
is GV one.
Uh,
Man.
So there's
uh,
no monitor on this thing and nothing. It's just
no, it's yeah. Good luck with that.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to
Uh,
just make sure everybody gets it.
Oh, we got it. I didn't think it was going that way. I thought you looked up and you didn't see nobody.
I thought he did too. I wasn't sure what was going on. Like, is everything okay? Um, but
So
yeah, so yeah, their development and a lot of people know Nvidia as like a graphics card, producer for video game. There's so much more than that. Even though, like, looking at the keynote and seeing those graphics for video games and things, it was insane just to see how detailed and, just lifelike it really is, and things like that. And so you see how, like, they really show you in that keynote video, like, how the physics come into rendering these things and how, like just looking at that marble video, which is a very simple video of just some marbles rolling down, down in a line, but just seeing how that interacts and how you see the different sides of the marbles and the shadows that they cast from the different light sources and things like that. So yeah, it was really awesome. Um,
yeah,
but again, I'm fangirling right now. So
Totally
you got me,
fangirl.
JB.
Totally, totally.
and the bad part about it is we didn't even like crack the surface of this. So like, what was it? Where they did they were doing like atom modeling for they were looking at the breakdown of the proteins for COVID-19 and how that looked, and that was with UC San Diego. They did a multi GPU NAMD, which is the largest atomic simulation with 305 million atoms. And, they're like really getting in there to see how all that looks and how they can break it down to create the vaccines that a lot of people are currently getting and stuff like that. So, um, seeing that real world usage of it and how, and us, being on the outside looking in and seeing, what that outcome was is like super dope to me.
Hmm.
I'm sold, and I think this is a good intro to get people over to at least try to see the tutorials and stuff on how they can get involved and fit into contributing to the Omniverse.
Yeah, there you go.
Y'all,
I
so
blame
my
that.
what do you say, JB?
I blame Mortal Kombat for that.
Oh yeah, I just watched it. The Mortal Kombat. It was pretty decent. Yeah.
um, and
But
so one thing that I really, really wanted to bring up is Amazing Grace, which is their NVIDIA's do like CPU, which I think is beyond awesome. And the fact that as a developer, like a lot of your bottlenecks that happen when you're trying to, take data that you have locally on the machine and move it from your CPU to GPU is coming from moving it from that one CPU to this single line that has to go, amongst the GPUs and things like that. And you can use NVLink and all that, and works great, but it's still a bottleneck. And so having Amazing Grace in there, which you're having dedicated CPU for your GPUs, and that data is just streaming across. And I don't even have the diagram that showed the speed difference between data being transferred, which I think it was 500 megabits to 6,000 or something like that, or 60,000, which was just an insane turnaround.
Didn't it say that it could transfer or transmit 80? It was in the 800,000, 80 terabytes, somewhere in there, a gigantic number, in a matter of hours compared to what the I guess the current time. Did I get that right?
I think you did.
So it's 80 terabytes. Was it? I feel like 80 terabytes is small compared to what we saw in the conference. Yeah. So it sounds like it was 80,000, 800,000 terabytes. I just remember the number was big.
Yeah. So GPU to CPU interface with a Grace, it's greater than 900 gigabytes per second with NVLink.
Awesome.
So yeah, and CPU to CPU interface is greater than 600 gigs per second. And that's due to be released in 2023. So, we have a little bit of time before we get there, but just the notion of something like this happening is amazing.
Cool.
I know we don't have a picture of it, but I was saying outside of the recording it looked like a Duramax diesel motor, and when they broke that thing down, it was so many components and so many tubes and things. It was just I don't even know if I'm looking at a computer anymore.
Looking at Omniverse. No. But yeah, this has been good. It's been good.
Yeah. And again, this is not even cracking the surface, so definitely check it out. And let us know your thoughts about it, because that keynote was just the surface. That's not even going into the different talks that were a part of the Nvidia GTC conference. And so, yeah, let us know what you think, and, point out some things that we may not have mentioned that we may have missed as a part of this conference. And so we can definitely have that dialogue and just, learn and grow as a group.
Agreed. All right. Anything else, Clarence?
Mm-hmm. No, I don't want to start us back up.
Sure.
Don't
okay. All right. Cool.
Yeah.
Check this out. Say a little cool. Get us out of here.
Cool conference. Definitely check it out.
So yeah, guys, thank you for sticking with us during this episode. Please make sure that you like, comment, subscribe if you're on the YouTube side of things. If you're listening to the podcast via Spotify or any of your other, podcast providers, please make sure that you leave us a review, leave us a comment, so that, we can really engage with you guys and give you shout outs and things like that. Because like we stated, this is for a developer community. And so we want to keep that community aspect. But yeah, without further ado, I'm JB.
I'm Clarence.
And I'm Terrence. And also, we will be taking a quick break.
Yes.
And we will be back in June for another episode. See you later. Be safe.
See you, June.